The M551-76 is War Thunder's latest Battle Pass tank, which, at the time of recording this, sits at a battle rating of 6.7 in the US tech tree as a rank 4 premium. Is it actually worth roughly $14 and grinding time to unlock it for yourself? At the end of the day, that is up to you, but I can at least offer you my impressions of the vehicle from the limited time I have had to play it. Why should you care what I have to say, though? Well, I have been playing War Thunder off and on for almost 9 years, good God, with over 15,000 games played, most of those being in Ground RB. I'm far from the best player in the game, but I do have a significant amount of experience with the variety of the vehicles in this game, which can hopefully help you decide if this tank is right for you or not. As for potential biases, while I did receive a test drive of this tank through being in the War Thunder Partner Program, I am under no obligation to promote this tank or any other tank in a certain way and am just sharing my opinion on it. Enough about me though, let's talk about the tank. The format of this video is going to be somewhat similar to my previous videos in the Should You Buy series, where I will present you with both the pros and cons of the tank. However, I will also be adding in a detailed overview of my personal opinion of the vehicle from the games I've played with it. To start with, let's consider the pros. Number 1, it features a stabilizer. This tank features a 2-plane stabilizer, allowing you to make shots on the move without worrying about the gun bouncing around. Being one of only a few vehicles at this BR range to feature this, it can help get snapshots off against enemies who have to wait for their gun to settle. Number 2, good mobility. Thanks to its light weight, this tank can get around the map quickly, allowing you to flank enemy tanks and get shots into their sides. This is especially nice at this BR since you will face many Tiger IIs, which can easily be one shot with a well-placed hit to the rear of the turret. 3, incredible lineup. US 6.7 is easily one of the strongest lineups in the game, especially if you have some of the previous event vehicles or premiums. This can allow you to create a powerhouse lineup to grind both RP and SL. Unfortunately, at least in my opinion, this is where the good things about this vehicle end and the cons start to chip away at it. Number 1, poor survivability. While this is to be expected from a light tank, I still feel this is a major downside of the tank due to just how bad it is. The stat sheet may make it seem like the armor is no worse than most other light tanks of its BR. The difference is this tank uses aluminum armor rather than steel. Thanks to this, you can easily be killed by even heavy machine gun fire at closer ranges, and unlike other vehicles like the M109, which actually become more survivable thanks to this, the M551's internal layout makes it so that just about any hit will end up proving fatal. 2, bad ammo and low ammo supply. In total, this tank can carry 23 shells, which by itself is fine. However, when you factor in the actual performance of that ammo, it becomes a bit more of a problem for me. I won't say that the 76mm APDS is the worst shell in the game. I find it is fairly lacking when it comes to post-pen damage. While I have not yet encountered it myself thanks to the poor survivability of this tank, I have no doubt that this lack of ammo will hinder it if you have a good game with the tank. The reason for this low amount of ammo is a bit confusing to me, as there is clearly enough space to fit in more ammo, and the regular M551 can carry 30 152mm shells, which are far larger. From what I can tell, the devs appear to have based this on the ammo supply for the 105mm armed M551 prototype, as reports indicate it could only carry 23 shells. However, it also states this was only if the stowage was not modified, and they easily could have fit 50 105mm shells into the tank. For this reason, I think they should really up this capacity to at least 30 rounds for the 76. Number 3, poor gun handling. This is a bit of an odd one due to the fact that the vehicle has a stabilizer, which especially at 6.7 should mean it has some of the best gun handling of all the competition. However, the slow vertical traverse of between 2.8 and 4 degrees per second depending on your crew really lets it down. In many cases, I found it effectively renders your stabilizer ineffective when going over rough terrain, taking what is one of the few benefits this tank provides and leaving you with what is essentially a worse M41A1 Walker Bulldog, which brings me to my last point. Number 4. There are better alternatives available. The biggest problem I have with this tank is it really doesn't provide anything you can't already get with other American light tanks. This by itself isn't a problem for me, as I like to see premiums that are balanced compared to their tech tree counterparts, but in the case of this vehicle, I truly struggle to justify taking this over the Walker Bulldog or even the M56 Scorpion. For just a few dollars more, you could also just buy the Super Hellcat during a sale, which is by far a better choice and doesn't require an additional grind on top of your money. The Super Hellcat also offers a higher reward rate for both RP and SL, although this may change in the future. With the exception of the Bulldog, these alternatives all feature more effective shell types, such as the incredibly deadly M82 APHE shell. If none of that matters to you, or you were dropped on your head as a child and enjoy War Thunder Naval so you have already bought the Battle Pass to get the French boat, here is how I recommend you use the tank. While in theory, the stabilizer should allow you to zip around the battlefield killing tanks on the move, in practice this is likely to get you killed both due to the lack of armor and the fact that at 6.7 there are many slow heavy tanks which can easily snipe you. Instead, I find this works quite well as a speedy flanking sniper similar to most other light tanks. Find a good position to catch the flanks of enemy tanks as they lumber towards an objective and use the stabilizer to pop out from behind cover, snap off a shot, and then retreat back into safety. This all may seem self-explanatory since it's pretty much how you should play all light tanks, but this one in particular seems to be less flexible, and anytime I tried to play more aggressively with it, I ended up getting smacked upside the head. Overall, this is a hard tank for me to recommend, mainly due to it being a Battle Pass vehicle in its current state. While it is far from a terrible tank, and can be quite good if played right, in my opinion, your time and money is better spent elsewhere unless you absolutely love this particular tank. If you really like the Walker Bulldog, you will probably enjoy this tank as well, but I wouldn't really call it an upgrade over that vehicle like you might expect. If this tank were to receive the Heat FS shell, which the German Walker Bulldog gets, I feel it would give it enough benefit over the standard Bulldog to make it a better alternative, especially given the 6.7 battle rating. Depending on the price it eventually sees on the market, you may also be able to get it for a better deal. If you disagree, please feel free to discuss your opinions of this tank down in the comments, as this is all based on just my initial impressions of the tank. As this will eventually be available via the marketplace, you may be watching this after you have had far more playtime with it than I have at this point, so I welcome your input. Regardless of if you get it or not, I hope this video was helpful to you, and if you'd like to see more like it in the future, let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.